Well, I introduced you today the killer persuasion that can destroy the entire Democratic Party and all it stands for, should you like to use it. And I call it the levels of awareness in politics. Now, here's the important part. If you are at a different level in understanding than the people you're debating with, it is a waste of time. It would be like a monkey arguing with a potato. I don't know if you're the potato or the monkey in this example. You could be the monkey or the potato. But my point is, a potato and a monkey do not have the same understanding of the world. And if they try to have a debate, well, it's going to look like nonsense to the rest of us. Why is that monkey debating a potato? And why does a potato have eyes? I don't know, you'd have many questions about it. But here's level one, and I'll go through the levels so you know not to argue with somebody who's not at least on your level. Level one is they believe that their preferred news sources say, they believe what their preferred news sources say, and they do not sample other sources. So they're not aware of any counter-arguments. And they're not aware that their own news is mostly just narrative. Now that would apply to what I call my smartest Democrat friend, who literally gets his news from CNN and the New York Times and believes that reading anything else would just be garbage. He's a level one political thinker. Level two, you do sample newses from multiple sources, so not just your preferred, but you see what the other side says. But you still believe that your source is the right one. And you believe that the other side is full of narrative, but yours is just singing the truth. Oh, it's a good thing that my news sources are telling me the truth all the time. That'd be level two. So you're familiar with the other side, but you don't give it much respect because you think it's all fake. Level three, you're aware that all news is fake, at least in terms of missing context, right? There might be true facts, but out of context, so that you're intentionally misled. This would also be known as the Gell-Mann amnesia. Now, Gell-Mann, you've heard this too many times, a famous physicist who noticed that when he read the news, if he saw a story in his field of expertise, which was physics, he knew immediately that the story was wrong because he knew what was right. But then he would turn the page, read a story in a domain in which he was not an expert, and he would say, well, that's probably true. But after doing it long enough, he said to himself, what are the odds that 100% of the time I read something I know about, it is wrong, but all the other stories are correct? And so from that, he generalized correctly that all the stories are fake. It's just that some people know because they're experts and most people don't. So that would be level three, where you realize all news is fake, at least in terms of context that's left out. Level four, you go beyond the news is fake and all the way to the experts which are giving the information to the news are unreliable. Some might be right. I'm not saying that every expert's wrong about everything. Sometimes they're right. Often they're right. But you can't tell. That's the problem. The problem is thinking you can tell. If you think you can tell, you're at a lower level of awareness. So level four, you know that the experts, none of the experts are reliable because money distorts everything. And you might never see anybody who thought they would lose their job if they said something unpopular. Level five is where you start to see the gears of the machine, and I'm going to call it Mike Benz style. Now, if you don't know who Mike Benz is, it's probably proof that you also don't know what the gears of the machine are, or even what I'm talking about, because you're not there yet. What I'm talking about is the fact that we don't live in a republic and haven't for a long time, and that the real powers who are running things are some combination of current and ex-intelligence professionals and some combination of billionaires. And they largely control all the important decisions that have to do with, the big stuff, the world and other countries and wars and stuff like that. Now, I do think our government is in charge of stuff like, abortion, the local stuff. But all the big stuff, the big money stuff, the foreign stuff, the war stuff, clearly we've been under some other kind of administration for a long time. So once you see all the gears of the machine, and you know who's actually in power, and you know it's some combination of intelligence officials, then you're in level 5. And then there's only one level above level 5, it's level 6. And level 6, you're dead because you knew too much, and this is also known as the Epstein level, level 6. So Epstein was a level 6. He actually knew everything. So, of course, he's dead. He had to die. So those are your levels. Now, the way you would use this as a sword of persuasion is to make it a thing. If you repeat it and post it, then you can simply dismiss people at lower levels as not ready to debate. Not inferior. They're not inferior because we were all level 1 at one point. They're simply people who have not yet traveled the path, right? They're not stupid. They're not even, well, there might be some ignorance that's part of the process, but they're not defective. Don't think that there's something wrong with people who are at a different level. Nothing like that. They're also not dumb, which is the real surprising part. They're definitely not dumb. My Democrat friend I always talk about, he's one of the smartest people I know. Like, you wouldn't want to take an IQ test, compete against him, ever. You would not want to do that. He's smarter than me. You know, if we both took a standardized test, he'd beat me easily. So it's not about smart. It's just where you are on the journey. And maybe you don't care to make the journey. Maybe it's just something never occurred to you. You know, maybe there's something that never happened to you accidentally that caused you to, you know, want to look into it further. But that will end all of your disagreements. You'll just say, sounds like you're a level 3, and get back to me when you're a level 4.